Hey everybody, we got a quick Diag video. We're sitting in a 2014 Dodge Grand Caravan that randomly goes in limp mode. Let me show you what codes we have. On the scan tool, we have a number of sensor codes: oil pressure sensor, crankshaft position sensor, accelerator pedal position sensor, and throttle position codes. Now at first this might be a little confusing. Did all these sensors fail at the same time? Well, notice this other code, P0642, sensor reference voltage. All these sensors, what they have in common is they share this 5-volt reference circuit. You can also see on the dash right here, that's for our throttle response. So we have a throttle error, that's why that's showing up. Check engine light. Currently it's not starting, so that's another symptom we're dealing with. So how we want to tackle this particular issue is we want to find out where this reference voltage is, how we can tie into it, get a measurement and see, is it really failing or what voltage do we have? So let's go under the hood. The easiest place to tie into our 5-volt reference wire is right here. Right here's our throttle. We have this connector coming off of it. And then right in this little junction, you can peel all this back, and it'll be a brown and orange. The other thing you can do if you want to back probe is you can back probe into this connector here for our throttle. And again, brown and orange. Come to our voltmeter. This should be 4.9 to 5 volts, and we're at 2.2 volts. So we did lose our 5-volt reference. And that's why all those sensors are going haywire. So now we need to find out what is pulling down our 5-volt reference. The most common reason for our 5-volt to drop is because a sensor is grounding inside. So we have a failing sensor somewhere and it's pulling down our whole 5-volt circuit. So easy enough, we just go around and unplug each sensor. Once we get our 5-volt reference back, that's the faulty sensor. The easiest one to do is right here on the top, our throttle position. So we'll just unplug this connector here, maybe. So there's a little red tab you might have to push back, and then we unplug it. Come over to our voltmeter, and we still don't have our 5-volt reference. So we can eliminate this as our issue. Let's go to another sensor. Let's go inside the vehicle. So in our code list, we eliminated the throttle position as our issue. So if we come down, let's do the accelerator pedal position. That'll be right under here. So right above our gas pedal is this connector. We'll undo this one. There we go. Now let's go outside. And we still don't have our 5-volt reference. So we can eliminate that as our issue. Nice, we've eliminated 2 out of our 4 possible sensors. The next easiest sensor is our oil pressure sensor. Let me show you where that is. So right in between our intake manifold and our battery, we'll come down. You see that gold sensor right there? You want to unplug that connector. Let me get to it. My hand's gonna be in your way. Okay, you can see we got that disconnected. Now let's take a look at our voltage. You can see our voltage is back. Now we're at our 5-volt reference. That's perfect. But notice something while we were pulling that off. So the connector is here. When I wiggle this harness right here, look what happens. I just lost it. And I'm wiggling the harness. Don't have it. Oh, and there, right there, it's back. Lost it, it's back. Oh, no, still not back. Come back. There it is. So all I'm doing is just wiggling this harness back and forth, and I'm losing our 5-volt and I'm gaining it back. So it's actually not a sensor this time. It's right here in this wiring harness. So I got the harness all apart. You know, you can disconnect it, this end right here. That goes down below. You can disconnect it to give yourself a little more room. But look what I found. Look at that, harness rot. Those are all exposed wires, probably just touching each other. And that's what was causing our 5-volt reference to drop out. Oh, look at this one here. This isn't even related to our oil pressure sensor, but there it is. That one's also starting to rot. So we're gonna fix up this harness, put it all back together, and we won't have any more issues. All right, so this is just one way to do it, and this is how we did it. Just some butt connectors. So we clipped it, threw on some heat shrink just to give it some extra protection. And then these are heat shrink butt connectors. So anytime you do outside electrical work that might be exposed to the elements, we want something that heat shrinks to close that off. Yep, weatherproof. Okay, now we're just gonna wrap this up with tape and plug it all back in. All right, got everything back together, plugged in. We're showing our 5 volts, and if I move this around all I want, our 5 volts stays there. So sweet, let's start it up. Now we went ahead and cleared codes. There we go, we're running. No throttle light or anything on. I think we're fixed. All right, that's it, just a quick diag. This took me in a little different direction than I thought. A lot of times when the 5-volt reference fails or drops is because of a failing sensor on that 5-volt circuit that's shorting inside and pulling that to ground. But in this case, it was the wiring harness. So if you own a Dodge Grand Caravan, a Jeep, they all use those same wiring harnesses. So just something to keep in mind is to wiggle that harness as well, and hopefully you'll find it. All right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comment, post down below. See you on the next one.